I hope black women share. The numbers are the numbers. If black women have the most degrees.
Wrong. Wrong.
If we have the most home ownership.
Wrong. 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 Wrong.
If we have the most education.
Wrong. Wrong.
And black men who I love, I rock with, will never date outside my race. But the bottom line is, the stats are the stats. It shows the less amount of degrees, the less ownership.
I just need black men to be more vocal, man. It's like y'all got your nuts cut off or something like that.
Y'all gotta get y'all money up.
We gotta stop. We gotta stop.
Y'all gotta get y'all money up.
Episode. This is the ball episode.
Yeah, whether you like it or not.
I'm looking at these statistics. Hey, brother, y'all gotta get y'all money up.
Yeah.
What happened? Your balls drop off?
I understand that some of this information may be unnerving to a lot of black women who thought different. And a lot of black people in the black community are not expecting black men to be doing so well because all they've heard is that black men are deadbeats. We make more money than them. We own more business than them. February 12th, 2025. A look at black-owned businesses in the U.S. Who are black business owners? They're more likely to be men than women. The most current report, some 54% of black-owned firms in 2022 had men as their majority owners, while 39% had women as their majority owners, and another 7% had equal male-female ownership. This is what tends to happen when you put out these type of statistics. The goalposts always move. So y'all recognize that name right there? Jemelehill, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. This is when I first started responding back to Touré and putting out these statistics in regards to Post-Secondary National Policy Institute Census American Community Survey from 2023, where it was stating that 29.3% of black women earn bachelor's degrees or higher, 22% of black men earn bachelor's degrees, which is a 7.3% difference. Touré lied on one of his videos saying that 64% of black women have bachelor's degrees or higher.
And studies show about 27% of black men get college degrees, but 41% of white men get college degrees, and 50% of white women get college degrees, and 64% of black women get college degrees.
Which is not true at all. But her gripe was actually for this: the 2024 annual salary for black men in the United States being $52,000 and black women $47,000. So she took offense to that and she responded. But this is what tends to happen when you put out these type of statistics. The goalposts always move. So she said, "I love how the majority of y'all are just blatantly ignoring the gender pay gap. Even in the field of engineering, women get paid less. It's this way in virtually every field. So the reason men make more isn't always because they choose better careers. Because as a whole, women, especially black women, make less on the dollar than black men." I'm not gonna lie to you. This actually shocked me, this type of response from a black woman, because I've never heard black women downplay their accomplishments in regards to the workforce. I've always heard black women champion the fact that, you know, they earn more than black men.
Are having a hard time because they can't compete financially with white men currently because white men out earn them. And they also can't compete in their households because even though currently they are making more than black women, not enough to be considered. The gap in income between a black woman and a black man isn't enough for him to get the label of primary breadwinner for his household. So he's on average. So he's stuck in this place where he feels like he can't compete with the white male because he's making less money. And he also feels like he can't sustain his household because even though he might be making more than his wife, the gap isn't big enough for him to say, I am the primary breadwinner for my family.
In America, the black woman out-earns and out-educates your mate. What power do we have over you?
More black women are graduating from colleges, which in turn will mean that there, of course, there's black men that are doing well, but if you have more black women graduating from college, more likely more black women might do more than black, financially better than black men.
A lot of women, especially black women, and I might get in trouble for saying this, but I will, in our society right now, black women are making a lot more money for the most part than black men.
Black women are excelling. They're getting accelerated degrees, graduate degrees, doctorate degrees. They're starting businesses. Black women are running circles around men.
Strong and independent. I know that's not all black women, but I've never heard black women publicly say, well, the reason why black men earn more is because of the gender pay gap. That actually shocked me. But you guys know that wasn't the reason why I did this post. The reason why I posted this is for one, to educate the black community that just because black women have more college degrees, that doesn't mean that they earn more money. And also, which is the common narrative in these spaces, is that black women earn more than black men. So this was my way of setting the record straight, and to see JEMELE use the gender pay gap as some sort of reason why black women don't make more than black men, that was kind of crazy to me, because I've never seen black women use any excuses, and they've always been able to stand on their high horse, hiding under the premise of they make more than black men, which is not true. Opinions are perfectly fine, but we talking about statistics and the reasons why there's a gender pay gap, then we have to look at the overarching information. Now, in response to her comment, the gender pay gap. Does the gender pay gap exist? Yes, there is a gender pay gap, but there are certain reasons why a gender pay gap exists. So essentially, this was JEMELE's way of admitting that I was right, for one, because she didn't refute the fact that black men actually make more than black women. She just said that it's because of the gender pay gap. So the gender pay gap argument is very tricky, because on one hand, you point to men choosing higher paying jobs, right? We understand that. You can point to men working more hours and women taking time off to raise children or have children. There are so many reasons why men make more money than women. And it trickles down to the black community as well. We are not absolved from that. The other side of the coin of this argument is you could simply say that women make less money than men because they pay women less money for doing the same jobs. It's ultimately illegal. Equal Pay Act of 1963 will tell you that. But if your bias is in favor of women and is strong enough, like JEMELE, then that's all you need to justify your point. So this is why I don't like to engage in the gender gap argument, because the discussion never ends well. And we all know that there's multiple studies out there that refute the gender pay gap and why it exists. The more egalitarian the society becomes, the more you'll see men and women going into career fields that interest them. For women, teachers, nurses, etc. For men, like she stated, engineering. Dr. Jordan Peterson actually said it best. He was like, women are more focused on people and men are more focused on things.
There are lots of disciplines that are absolutely dominated by women, and they're doing great. But if you leave men and women to make their own choices, you will not get equal outcome. Right. Men and women won't sort themselves into the same categories if you leave them alone to do it of their own accord. I've already seen that in Scandinavia. It's 20 to 1. Female nurses, approximately the same, male engineers to female engineers.
There's multiple studies out there, and one in particular that I want you guys to take a look at. Matter of fact, I'll just ask you a question. Why do men like sports cars?
Is there anyone out there who wants to go fast?
I want to go fast. We want to go fast. There was a study when I started reviewing the gender pay gap back in 2020 or something like that. In 2018 or 2019, Uber actually did a study, and they found that men make more money doing Uber than women. And there was a whole bunch of reasons why, but the most important one and the most funniest one was that men get paid more money driving Uber because they drive faster. And that was crazy to me because, of course, the risk versus reward is pretty crazy, right? You drive faster, you can get in more accidents, but men are a little bit more frivolous with their lives than women. You see men jumping off mountains and stuff and, jumping out of planes without a parachute.
There goes the chutes. Luke is on his own. And the crowd on the ground looking up, they have a visual on him right now. He's in!
Men do foolery like that. So in Uber, men actually get paid more because they drive faster, they find better routes, they work longer hours. So that's why I like that study, because it's like, well, she got her own car. Men have their own cars. So they can drive as many hours as they want, right? But those certain factors drives why there is a gender pay gap when you do Uber. And and like I said, I wanted to make sure that people understood that no, it's not the fact that companies just simply pay women less money, because if you think about it, why not just have all female employees? Right? I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but why not just hire all women if you could pay them less money? If that was legal, you have to have a multivariate analysis when you start talking about the gender pay gap. And it's not as simply as that, people just pay women less money. It's so many things that go into that. So that's why it shocked me, because I know Jemelehill is a very educated woman. And for her to bring that up and I know she did the research, it may have just been to combat what I'm saying, because like I said, I understand that some of this information may be unnerving to a lot of Black women who thought different. And a lot of Black people in the Black community are not expecting Black men to be doing so well, because all they've heard is that Black men are deadbeats. We make more money than them. We own more business than them. We got more degrees. We don't respect them. We're married at a higher rate. Everything that I just said is not true. Okay? Other than, Black women earning more degrees than Black men. However, every race of woman earns more degrees than their male counterparts. I mean, it's so many things. So yeah, I was kind of shocked to see her, her comment pop up, because I understand that she is an educated woman. And to use that, that point, that was pretty well. So that was a good example of how the gender pay gap and the conversation can be skewed. Okay. And that's, like I said, don't believe me, man. You could do the research for yourself. I've actually shared so much of it on this page already. If you guys go back, the Pew Research article where I broke down how egalitarian and sole provider and primary breadwinner marriages work, I've already explained to you guys statistics on that, and they actually broke down who does the bulk of the work in the house, women, who does the bulk of the child rearing, but who works more? It's men. Even on average, egalitarian 50-50 relationships, men earn about $2,000 more than women. So even when it's a 50-50, men still earn more. So there's so much that goes into this, and I hate the fact that Jemelehill would say that, and now, people are going to look at it and they're going to try and, combat her. But like I said, I don't like engaging in conversations where people have a certain bias towards a particular group when it comes to statistics. When it's opinion-based, cool. You can have your biases. I have my biases. It is what it is. But in the face of, the statistics, we got to be fair and straight and to the point, okay? It just is what it is.